Next, we're going to move on to destinations, and we've got three really exciting destinations, two of whom are in the room and one who are joining us online. And this is all about the global stories about these destinations, one of which is early phase, one is emerging, and one is established. So if Jemma and Pallas would like to join me up here so you can speak. Up here, that'd be wonderful. And we're going to be joined online by Sara from Venywhere, from Venice, who is going to be emerging. So just approaching in stripes is Jemma Reid from Scotland, and she is the early phase person, and she is a food tourism ambassador. And the person who is a man, come in a bit so we can see you on the camera, Pallas. There he is, there he is. The tall man person is from Estonia, and this is Pallas Mudist. And Estonia is a small digital-first nation of independent minds and can-do attitude. So I'm going to hand over first to Jemma to talk about Scotland. There we go. Thank you so much.
Perfect, thank you. I've got some slides as well to show through, but lovely to meet you all. Look forward to meeting you all properly over the next couple of days, and lovely to be here in Croatia, and delighted to be here on behalf of Scotland. And also delighted to hear a few mentions of Scotland already this morning, so cheers to that. We are at the very beginning of our journey. I am a food ambassador for Scotland. And I am joined with my colleague Yvonne, who I work on a lot of projects with. We're both tourism consultants from Scotland. And as my project for Food Ambassador, want to look at the opportunities for workations in Scotland with a food and drink sectored theme. And that's why we're here today. We're here to soak up as much information from all of you as possible, find out what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, and how we can grow this market for Scotland. Next slide, please. So, where we're going, this is slange. You have to remember this word for tomorrow because you're going to have a nip of whiskey tomorrow afternoon. Okay, after lunch, just after lunch, we're going to have a nip of whiskey. So remember that word, slange. That means cheers. So just a quick introduction. I've worked in the tourism industry in Scotland. My whole career. I was brought up in hospitality and have worked in events, food and drink, as I say, my whole time. And Yvonne has done much the same in terms of providing consultancy within the travel trade and the tourism industry. And delighted to be here representing Scotland. So, as I mentioned, the beginning of our journey, so we haven't got too many slides to go through, but we really feel that there's an opportunity for people like yourselves and beyond to come to Scotland and consider it as a destination. And I'm going to tell you why even more tomorrow. It hasn't been done in Scotland before. It's a brand new tourism market. And I think there's huge opportunity to be able to extend that tourism season and give something different to people. We want to be part of the global food conversation. We want to immerse people in food and drink experiences and give them the opportunity to meet other people from across the globe. We're going to potentially develop a pilot project in January to March next year where we want to invite some of you and potentially others to come and experience being a digital nomad or doing a workation in Scotland. We're going to send a survey after this event to gather some more information to see how we can build that programme. And tomorrow, I'm going to tell you why you should come to Scotland for those that haven't. Can we just see a raise of hands how many people have actually been to Scotland? Ah, not bad, not bad. Next year, the rest of you, okay? So food and drink is key for Scotland. We've got whisky in abundance, that's what most of you will know us for. But seafood, just like Croatia, the seafood is exceptional. And as I mentioned, I really want to focus on this within a sector specific. We want to look at workations within food and drink. So if you work for a brewery in Germany and you want to come and work for that brewery, for your own brewery in Scotland, but have some meet the maker experiences with other brewers and do some field to fork experiences in agriculture, we can help arrange that. We want to put Scotland on the map for this. See, excellent seafood. I know that you've seen it all before in Croatia. There's an abundance of it right on our doorstep here. And you get the space. Just keep flicking, there's just a few more pictures. And this. And this. which you might not get in all places. So like I say, it's a short and sweet presentation today. I've got a couple of videos I want to show you tomorrow to immerse you in Scotland with a whisky. But I really want to take this opportunity to please talk to Yvonne and I. We'll be asking you lots of questions over the next couple of days because it is fascinating, and I really do think, as we've heard this morning, it's a really big growing sector, and we need to embrace it. So thank you very much, and I'm going to hand over back to you.
Thank you so much, Jemma. Are we ready with Venywhere? Fantastic. We'd love to welcome you online, please, to Sara from Venywhere from Venice. So please take it away, Sara. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone. Can you hear us well? Okay, perfect. Hi, and thank you so much for having us and for this opportunity. I'm Sara, and I live in Venice, and I am one of the co-founder of the Venywhere project.
I'm Vera. I deal with the customer and fair relations in Venywhere, and I work with the project since 2 months. And also I help people to understand better what Venywhere is and to get a soft landing in Venice. We are very sorry to not be there in person in Dubrovnik, but thank you so much for inviting us.
I will start the presentation now, hopefully. Okay, yes, okay, thank you. So yeah, we can move to the next slide already. Okay, so the idea of the project started in 2020 when Italy and the world were facing for the first time the COVID pandemic and its consequences. And Venice, seeing Venice that empty was a once in a lifetime opportunity. And we took it to rethink about Venice and the relationship between over-tourism and residentiality. As many of you may know, Venice has an historical issue with over-tourism, and we are now less than 50,000 residents in the city. In the same time, the working from anywhere practices were coming along, and working remotely for many people was new, and we saw that many of them wanted to actually continue working this way. So from these two events and the concept, the idea was that maybe part of the solution of the Venice issues could be bring remote workers in the city and make them temporary citizens. We can skip to the next one. Thank you. So from there, we wanted to take the idea and transforming it into a project. We started our research phase, and we issued an online survey to see if the idea and the business plan we had in mind was actually feasible and could be a potential solution. We have some data. So from the survey, we had 500 answers, and the 80% of people that answered to us were from the United States, and they are people aging between 35 to 55 years old, and coming from the IT sector, marketing and consultancy. But the most interesting insight for me is that the 55% of them were women. So we are very happy about that. So yes, from there we built our first draft of the platform, which is our website. We can go ahead. Okay, our two main targets are remote teams and individual remote workers. So remote teams are employees from one company that want to move to Venice and work together inside the city. Next one. With the first target, we started our first testing phase, and the company that helped us in doing so is Cisco Systems. So they sent us 16 employees starting from March 2022. They are still here, and we found them accommodations, and we built them for them activities to do and opportunities to meet with the local community. And with the company and remote teams target, we want to test how this experience can have an impact on their productivity and creativity. Next one. The second target are individual remote workers. So we are building for them full service and all-around service. So from understanding the best visa you need, from finding an house, from finding the right workspace for you, meeting people and having networking opportunities, and also experiences the city, of course. So it was interesting to see that the users we have subscribed in our platform are mostly artists, so related to the artistic world, and they want to stay in Venice for more than 6 months, and we have 25% of them that want to stay in Venice for more than a year. Next one. So, okay, throughout these months and this project, we wanted to focus our research and our work on two main concepts. The first one is Venice as a distributed workspace. So the idea here is to find multiple workspace that can be useful for different needs. And Venice is actually a really nice playground for it, because we have many partially utilized spaces. So the idea is to use these spaces and create an environment for remote workers to interact with locals. Next one. And of course, networking, innovation, and community are our core concepts. Bringing talents in the city and giving them the possibility to interact with the community can create new opportunities for remote workers and also for the city, new innovation and new working opportunities also for students. These can hopefully have a positive spillover effect, and this can be the start of a vicious cycle. Next one. Okay.
Okay, so to conclude our presentation, we'd like to share with you some exciting news. So our community is always growing, and we reached over 2,000 subscribers. So we're very happy about the trust they put in us. And we will soon start the selection of the pilot group, which Sara mentioned, for the individual remote workers. And they will be arriving in Venice around September and October. So we're starting that process. And also Italy is moving towards the submission of a Digital Nomad Visa, as is already in practice in Croatia or Estonia or other European countries. So we are still waiting to know some more details about how it will be implemented, but we are very happy that our country as well is starting to recognize these type of workers and help them reach Italy and Venice, of course. So thank you very much for your attention, and this is it.
Hello, my name is Pallas, and I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way with reading from my notes. My presentation is a bit dry compared to the ones that we've seen today. I'm going to go through the things that we have done with our programs for attracting foreign talent and investments. So, as I said, I work for an Estonian tourist board, where my main focus is remote work and digital nomads. And I want to share our experience as a digital-first society and a destination for digital nomads. But first, let's take a look at some of the basic facts about this. Estonia is a modest country striving to extend beyond its borders. Located in the Northern Europe, Estonia is slightly larger than Denmark or Switzerland. Estonia is a delightfully compact country. In just a few hours, you can get from one end to the other, with no need to choose between a city break, a spa holiday, or relaxing in nature. You can have it all. And so we come to the next slide. Don't change it yet. Because before we delve into the nitty-gritty details of our programs for attracting foreign talent, perhaps a quick overview of how the world perceives us. We rank pretty highly in many different vital rankings, which are important for a modern-day remote worker. The thing to note here is that Estonia has a highly supportive startup ecosystem and a vibrant tech community already in place. As a result, startups are less likely to fail. This could be one of the reasons why we have the most unicorns per capita in Europe. As of now, we have 10 of them. Sustainable travel is another cornerstone that we are building our nation's brand around, as we see more and more people are making their travel decisions based on the destination sustainability rating. Next slide, please. So this is our capital, Tallinn. We are especially proud of these two rankings here. Independent chose Tallinn the best city for digital nomads in 2022. And last year, B7 Travel named Tallinn as the best remote work destination in the world. Sounds really good. Next slide, please. Okay, let's move on with the programs we have set up to attract foreign talent and investments. As you can see, we have quite many of them. We have Startup Visa program, we have Work in Estonia program, Trade in Estonia, Digital Nomad Visa, and eResidency, which we should look more closely as it's one of our great success stories. Next slide, please. Estonia started this project in 2014 and thus became the first and still the only country in the world to establish global e-residency. E-residency is perfect for people who want to set up a business, be it for their own freelance jobs or to create something bigger than themselves. By now, we have e-residents from more than 160 countries, which shows the global reach and size of the target group. And we have more than 13,000 companies created by e-residents in Estonia. This is important because they have generated more than 31 million euros in taxes. All you need to create a company in Estonia is an e-residency card and an EU bank account. And there are many other financial service providers that are more than happy to help you set up the basics. And of course, as was mentioned before, e-residency allows you to give digital signatures that are legally binding, just like we Estonians do it. Okay, let's move on to the Digital Nomad Visa now. Bringing it to life in August 2020 is an excellent example of a collaboration between the private and public sectors. The initiation came from entrepreneurs, as some of our startups had difficulty finding qualified workforce within Estonia. The government stepped on board to help find solutions. Immigration lawyers, tax lawyers, entrepreneurs, the startup community, and digital nomads from all over the world formed different focus groups that researched the challenges and possibilities. The result was one of the world's first digital nomad visas, a slightly modified Type C and Type D visa with its own requirements that would cater to digital nomads' exponentially growing movement. As the pandemic hit the world and changed the way we work, it also significantly accelerated the Estonian digital nomad visa implementation. Now, next slide, please. Since the launch, we have issued around 330 visas. One of the milestones was 1 year after the launch in August 2021, when we saw the number of applications increase by 42%. The interest stayed high until the Russian aggression in Ukraine, but it has somewhat bounced back from the second half of April, but we can't make conclusions yet. But the war in Europe has definitely influenced us. But as we see on the slide, the top nationalities, we are happily surprised by the names there, because they differ from our other programs, such as Work in Estonia, Startup Visa target countries. So it broadens our horizons or broadens our reach. So why do people choose Estonia? Is it because of our well-known digital society or because of our quirky marketing? Next slide should be a video. I hope it will play. No. This is really unfortunate because we had a really nice and funny video there. Maybe I can show it tomorrow to the when we are presenting Estonia as a destination. So, what Estonia has to offer? We have a visa. We have an excellent digital infrastructure with an active community, Startup Estonia and Draper Startup House, just to name a few. We have a great and growing selection of services, starting with co-working and co-living spaces, both in the city and beyond. You'll easily find a meeting room one can rent contactlessly for a few hours, a desk for a day, or an office space for a year. Work in peace boxes are popping up all over the country for a quick call or meeting in privacy. Tartu, our second largest city, will be the European capital of culture in 2023, but their new ambition is to become the capital of remote work by 2030. So big ambitions there for a small city, for a small country. Next slide, please. I'm not going too quickly. Has anybody had time to read the slides? That's good. It's important to read the slides. Okay, let's see what the future holds for Estonia and our programs. At the moment, we are working on a digital gateway providing remote work-related info from A to Z, from basic facts of the country to visa requirements and applications to co-working, to co-living, and so on. It will be a part of our Visit Estonia information system, where we strive to offer the best experience for our visitors. We aim to be even more present in our startup and co-working communities, keeping up an active communication with the service providers and amplifying their messages where needed. Also, working closely together with the tourism sector to raise the awareness of the growing phenomenon that is a working traveler. And of course, then there's the big elephant in the room, the issue of taxes. This is something we are looking closely, but as it's a very complex issue involving many parties, it needs its own dedicated discussion panel to dive into. Next slide, please. Oh, now it works seamlessly, our cooperation. So, for closing words, I'd like to say that Estonia sees great potential in cooperation between countries to make the new way of working more convenient and suitable choice for everybody. I like the idea that work is not someplace you go, it's something you do, and you can do it everywhere. So this is the end of my presentation today. I'm here until Saturday, so I hope to meet you all, discuss different topics, and gather information and ideas for us as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pallas, and thank you so much, Jemma. Now, we've got 3 minutes. Has anybody got a burning question that they would like to ask from the floor? Yes, there are 2 burning questions in the middle.
So my question is as I know Venice is pretty much touristic city, did you have problems with finding the accommodations for the workers Cisco has sent to you? Because we live in Split, and I know for most of digital nomads or people who just want to stay in Split, accommodation is a big problem because of the tourists.
So yeah, it was quite challenging, of course, because we just started doing this type of research and this project, and also the discussion in the city is it's not new, but actually seeing someone doing it, it's kind of new also for the people living here. But at the end, we found them, and the positive aspect of it is that we are building a database of houses in Venice that could be used for remote workers. And we have a partnership with an association called FIAIP. And with them, yes, we want to build this kind of database. So we will have, a more automatic way to find this accommodation. And also we want to promote co-living, so we can use the same apartment for many digital nomads.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question, and thanks very much indeed to our people online. Thank you so much indeed. Also, you have another question. Another question, Sara. Would you like to ask a question? The camera will come around to you. Just
big reveal. My question is for Pallas, actually. So I saw in your presentation that the Digital Nomad Visa for Estonia is for 1 year, and that it doesn't qualify you for permanent residence or citizenship. So I'm curious. Is true. Yes, I'm curious. Is it 1 year and then you get out and you can never come back and do the same permit again, or is there some way that people can do it again?
You can do it again, and in reality, you can extend the visa after 1 year. But as we do have many other programs as well, we are confident that people who are staying as long as 1 year will find a solution, and maybe better suited ways to keep living in Estonia.
Great. So is there no limit then? You can just continue to extend it indefinitely?
I think it was for 1 year. You can extend it for another year.
Aha. Okay. Thank you.
Now that we have you here with us, I mean, obviously Estonia was also very much an inspiration to us here on how to actually develop our digital nomad permit. If I'm not mistaken, I think that you become a tax resident in Estonia after the 6 months plus 1 day. But do you have any ideas on how you would want to perhaps further improve the visa in the near future, in the upcoming years?
Yes, this is true that you become a tax resident in Estonia after 6 months. I'm guessing your question is about improving regarding the tax situation.
As a matter of saying, so I mean, when we were developing our visa here, our permit, I have to say, we had a meeting with one of your colleagues. He was I believe, the ex-state secretary of the Ministry of Finance that has helped to develop the program in Estonia. And what I really liked what they said, is that they see their country, or you see your country, as a startup. So you launch a project, and then along the way you will continue to improve upon that. So you're not going to wait forever to launch something because it's not perfect. You're going to come with a product, and then you will perfect it, let's say, over time. So my question would be, what are you going to do to perfect it even further? You were the first. It's not a perfect product, obviously, because there isn't any. But are you having any plans to make future changes to the program?
Estonia is exactly as you said. We consider our country as a startup, and we, as you said, we launch a project and try to gain as much comments or
feedback, let's say.
Feedback from the, let's say, from the service or the products that we are launching. And as with Digital Nomad Visa, we see ourselves like the first phase has finished, We were the first to launch it. What we gained from it was a massive promotion and a lot of media. And as you saw from the nationalities that applied for our visa, the nationalities are what we were after. And now we are in the first phase has finished, and we are looking to improve and maybe change direction a little bit. What the first signs are that we should not solely concentrate on digital nomads, but remote workers as a larger group. And this is things that we are thinking and trying to perfect, and hopefully soon we have some news regarding our visa program.
No, we will definitely keep an eye on yours. Yes.
And as I said before, we should all keep an eye on each other, and if possible, we should work together, because we see Europe as a one region, and there's no point if one country does something. It will make a small change, but we should, as a region, we should work together, and then we can see some big changes happening faster.
We hope to actually have those kind of collaborations through the Digital Nomad associations that are popping up everywhere. So yeah, in that way we try to learn from each other and to collaborate. Yeah.
And that's a perfect lead in, Jan. Thank you so much. In the next session, thank you so much to our speakers. Thank you very much indeed. Please. Yeah, fantastic.